guys, it's Victoria, wardrobe consultant and empowerment coach. I love working with women in transition, helping them go from point A to point B with purpose, poise, and style. Helping them navigate that time in their life is really, really exciting to me. Today, I want to talk to you about style and, in particular, patterns. Whether you like them, they're in your wardrobe, you have too many, how to choose the right one. I'm going to give you kind of an overview of the basics of patterns. And this came top of mind after a couple of recent clients who, when they invited me into their wardrobe, into their closet, I mean, it was vibrant and colorful and beautiful and all kinds of great patterns, but really it was all patterned. And if you are in that category, you may find yourself after a while feeling a little bit limited. So ultimately, a great wardrobe will be curated with both pattern and solids. Mine in particular, I have more solids than I do pattern. And if you're a super minimalist, you'll probably not want any pattern at all. Even it might just be slight texture without any pattern. But most of us are going to want to have a mix of the two. And if you're in category number one, like the recent clients that I just had who have so much pattern, but they don't know how to pair it, or they're very limited to their pairings, I want to share with you a couple ideas that you can try right now to help extending, which is by adding in some solids into your wardrobe. So three different ideas. So the first is, and it's all related actually as far as layering goes. So if you have, I'm going to kind of focus thinking that they're going to be more shirts or dresses. It could be pants, it could be jackets, it could be full. But if you have blouses or whatnot that are opened up, you can layer that by putting a coordinating camisole underneath and really leave it quite low so that the camisole, the solid in there, will really pop and kind of break up the pattern a little bit. And that's kind of where I'm going with this, is kind of breaking up the pattern. Conversely, you could add a jacket or a cardigan and bring that on over top to kind of just add a refresh and get a little bit more life and longevity out of perhaps a piece that's been sitting in there for quite some time, and you're just getting a little bit tired of the pattern. One of the things that I've been caught with over the years, and I see with my clients, is when you're looking and you're attracted, oftentimes we're attracted to the same kind of things, which, so if you're a pattern girl, you're just going to be attracted to pattern. But have you ever got home and then all of a sudden you have no idea how to pair this piece? That happens a lot because oftentimes maybe it's a piece on sale, or just a one-off, or you've been thrifting, or you're buying it online and you can't really see it. Sometimes the coloring is just slightly different than perhaps other things you have in your closet, and then you're kind of stuck with this piece. So kind of be wary of that. And if you do have a ton of pattern, start looking as to how you can fill the gap with some complementary solid colors that you can start to implement and overlap and really curate a more well-rounded closet. Of course, that is something that I love doing. If you choose to invite me into your closet, I would love to help you, round it out a little bit better. On the flip side, I talk to people all the time who say they hate pattern. They hate pattern, it doesn't work on them, they can never find the right pattern. And so I want to share with you some of the basics of pattern because it can be tricky. And I don't have a ton of pattern, but I did bring some of my pieces to share with you so that you can get an idea. We talk about size of pattern. So size can have a difference, whether it's super small to extra large. But it's not only the size of the pattern, it's also the density of the pattern. So whether it's a really tight knit pattern that kind of overlaps and it's just like really tight, or how much dead space do you have there? And ideally, let me backtrack a little bit. Generalizing, the smaller, more dense pattern will make you look smaller. Conversely, a larger, less dense pattern is going to add fullness. However, and I think you're going to really see this in the patterns that I'm going to show you, is ideally we want to create balance on your particular frame. And by all means, if you love it, rock it. That's always my go-to, but it's about creating the balance on your particular frame. So I have a small to medium size frame. You know, I'm generally around a size 8, I'm going to say. So anything too small looks funny on me. I don't like it on me. It's out of whack. The balance is out of whack. And anything too big, whether it's dense or undense, it does the same kind of thing. So let me just share with you a few pieces so that you can get a little bit better idea. So I don't have anything, like I said, too small and dense, but this would be considered a small pattern with, I'm going to say medium to low density. So the pattern is the black and the dead space would be the green in this. So you can see there's a lot of green and a lot of dead space there, but the pattern is still fairly small. And so it works on my frame. This one, so this is pattern upon pattern. So even within what we would consider dead space, there's really small pattern, but the pattern itself would be small to medium. And then there's really no just like plain solid dead space, again, which is why it works. Similar to this, it's kind of a small to medium, but lots of small pattern in where there would or could potentially be dead space. So if you can imagine, let's say all this would be this color almost that I have on, then it would create a different look. But because there is so much of that little pattern there, it balances off a little bit. This one is a larger pattern with a lot of dead space, but it's not the smaller pattern at the edges really helps to not make it look overpowering either. Now this one, this would be a larger pattern with a medium density, I'm going to say. So this dress for sure, as with this, they both add some fullness. They both will add some fullness to my figure. This one, because it's pretty much, you know, tone on tone monochromatic. There is some of the soft beige in there, but it's not overpowering when it's all put together. Now, if we look at my wallpaper there, it is large and it is dense. So it could be all together, let's say that was a dress or a jacket, it would be really, really overpowering. However, as a full skirt with a fitted top, knit top, or a bodysuit up top, it would really add some very feminine and fun volume in through the bottom, but then keep it a little bit more fitted up top. So it is going to balance out. So consider, if you're stuck with pattern, the placement, which I didn't talk about, the density, the size, all those things together can really have an impact on whether the pattern is working for you or it isn't. So if you have some struggles in your wardrobe with patterns, or you've had a hard time picking them, keep those things top of mind and consider the balance that you want to create. So for somebody that was smaller on top that wanted to add some fullness, you could go with a larger dense pattern, or you could go with something that's smaller with some dead space. So anything that's going to add a little bit more fullness. And again, just keeping in mind the balance. So even pull out some of the pieces and be like, oh, I get it. This is why this is not working, or it is working, or where it's working, or where it potentially isn't working. All right, so I know that was a lot of information in a short period of time, and I only had my stuff to work with, but I believe that just understanding those basics is going to make it easier for you to choose pattern if you so choose to. Two things I want to share with you that I have coming up in the end of March. I don't have an exact date quite yet, but I am going to be hosting a crash course to revamp your style and help you create a wardrobe that you love. Literally about a 90-minute, get the basics, lots of information for you. So keep a lookout for that date. Secondly, I do have time coming up, and I meant to check my calendar to give you exact dates, but listen, I love helping women rework what they already have. I love teaching and sharing with you and figuring out all this stuff style wise. So if you're struggling and tired of going rogue and going solo and buying things that don't work, or not sure what to do with the current wardrobe, let's have a chit chat. We can have a chit chat, no obligation, but if you're ready to book, we can do that too. All right, you guys, you can find me at victoriabaird.com, or please leave a message down below or DM me. I'd love to hear from you. Have a great day. Bye for now.